Okay, it looks like I'm back. Don't know what happened there. For some reason, it looked like I don't know, my computer just froze on me. So I ran, got the laptop, tried that. We'll see how long this works. Try a little more light on the subject. Waiting for people to actually know I'm back live. I'll try to keep this going. Sean Innes, hello again. Ironic, you were the first before, you're the first again. Danny Tinton says, greetings from South Carolina. And a greetings to you, Danny. Welcome back. Good to see you. Um, we'll see if anyone else shows up. It was weird. I actually, at first I thought I just bumped my camera cord, and that's why the camera went. But then when I tried it again, I tried two times to actually go back on the desk computer, and it did that thing where it was like going live and the little circles, but it never actually kicked on. So, well, in any event, you guys come back. Let's just see. John, this is Gary Carpenter, broke IR. It is known, LOL. Dennis Gates says, what's happening? Da 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 da. Well, for one thing, I was having technical problems in a show designed to discuss strange happenings. Weird. Keith E says, this is for my gosh. It certainly is, isn't it? Gary Carpenter says, there he goes again, buffering. Oh my, am I buffering still? Please tell me I'm not buffering right now. Nostalgic Pod Bless says, hi everyone, greetings to Thrash Pondo. Hey, Pod Bless, great to see you as well. Love the Summer Nostalgia show you were doing, by the way. In fact, Danny, be so kind as to drop a link for our friend Pod Blessed and one for all your channels as well. Shauna says Keith E is present again. Pablo says, hi from Atlanta, GA, area 51. Daryl Johnson says, holy crap, part 2.1. Yeah, let's go with that. It'd actually be part 2.3, I think. I tried a couple times on the other one. Shauna says, not buffering my end. Good. Daryl says, not here. You're not. Good. Steve says, yo, funny. We were just talking about you, Steve. And you know what really grinds my... See, that's... If I go blank again, we'll know why. How many people took your intellectual property over the years, and were they demonetized? That's a thing that really, really bothers me about it. But yes, our friend Steve. Oh, by the way, Danny, please drop a link if possible to Mrs. Steve's channel. Steve, please give the exact name. I believe it's called The Strange Ending, but I want to make sure we get it right. Pablo says, hi, the live and sad ending. Keithy says, hey, this is your fourth stream, and you're gotten over 500 likes on all these streams. So the other two did post? I'm going to have to check that out, actually. And 500 likes, that's a lot. Thank you, Danny, for the link. Indy Spot says, you can't hide from me, Thrash. I wasn't trying to. Oh, and by the way, in answer, I think you were the last person to ask this, but I'm not 100%. When you asked who Steve was, Steve is from the Life and Set ending, and he is actually here tonight. Dan, the breaking news man, is here, says, I'm back. Yes, as are we all. And let's just see. Oh, I think I jumped again. So I'm just going to go back, and a lot of people having fellowship. Dominic D is here, says, hi, Thrash and everybody. Hello, thank you for persistence. Dave's back. I see dead people, some live ones too, I hope. Cindy D is here, says, hello, everyone. Hello to you as well. And a lot of people having fellowship. I'm just going to scroll right down to it. So we're waiting for Dave to come back, and of course Superplex. Hopefully they'll catch on soon. But we have 13 people on board and 9 likes. So by my calculations, we're almost up to where we left off. And I'm just going to keep reading the comments as we go. Gary Gumner says, you were on for a few minutes and then nothing. Yeah, but the weird thing is I tried 2 more times to go back on with my desk computer, and it was having a real tough time booting. You know what may have happened? This happened once before. I was having trouble going live with that system because it thought I was still live from a previous post. I had completely forgotten that. That happened to me, well, not years, months ago. There was a a stream and I was having trouble with it, so I bumped out. And when I went to get back in, I had to wait until YouTube finally realized that I wasn't live because you can't do one live on top of another. Jack Cummins says you were on for yeah, there we are. Cindy D saying hello everyone. Pablo says maybe Dave Sundstrom will drop in. Hope springs eternal. It's always nice to have him with us. Gary Cummins says I got a new magazine the other day. New Remind magazine? Or was it the other one, Retrofan? Oh, and Dan has given us a link to the life and sad endings. And again, we're wishing you luck on life and strange endings as well. The House of Alex, or HOA, says hi, welcome, good to see you as well. And I loved, he did a mirror film today about, it's the same person, just one is what he's actually saying, and the other one is what he's actually thinking. And it's about a kid show host with emotional problems. It's one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen, by the way. Dan, if you'd be so kind as to drop a link to The House of Alex. Oh, no one Judas here says, Thrash, I was in the other room. Yeah, a lot of people were. A lot of people. I wonder how many people still are, because that's what took me so long to get back in. I think even though I pulled the plug on my end, I think on some level it was still open. And because I was having trouble getting back. Pablo says, Remind Magazine's August cover design is great. Chris Reeves on the cover. Steve says, Keith E., I got your voicemail today. Thanks. Oh, that was very nice of you, Keith. Ellen Streeman says, subbed to her channel. That was very nice of you, Lance. Number one dude says, I took my like from the other room and brought it here. You can like both. Super Lex is here, says third time's the charm. Yeah, I'm guessing one of those other attempts went on, but was there anything on the other attempts, or just me just kind of like going? But anyway, yes, I'm so glad you could make it. I'll have to drop one of the one that actually has content I'll leave up, but let's just see what's going on here. Oh yes, it was a new Remind magazine from Gary Carpenter. Keithy says just trying to go to other links to tell him to come here. I missed everybody's common city. Well, I'm glad you're here, Keith, and I'm glad that you're telling other people to come as well. Indy's Boat says, it feels like I'm swimming in a hornet's nest of YouTube content creators. That is a very apt way of putting it. And yes, you are. You are. Number one dude says, Cindy D, how's it going, Cindy? It looks like, yeah, nothing. So, yeah, it was just, I was going to say probably a few people were trying to get in there, but again, I still think YouTube still thought I was on, even though I had shut off. Gary Carpenter says, R.I.P. Inga I'm sorry, Swenson. Yes, Miss Swenson, rest in peace. Lance Chapin says, watching Kung Fu Yoga with Jackie Chan has a dance number at the end. Oh yeah, I think I've seen that on YouTube. Len says, yes, R.I.P. Krause. Emily Miller's here. Oh my gosh, Emily, so good to see you. Emily says, hey y'all, sorry I'm late. Watching a movie called Project Almanac. Cute movie. No worries. I had some technical difficulties. I'm sure you might find that hard to believe. David's back. This question: it is difficult to keep YouTube channels strong and going, like getting subscribers and all that. I am just wondering. It's actually quite difficult, or at least it requires constant work. I am constantly working at it with varying degrees of success. But having you people around makes it all worth it. Dan says, give us the answers to the trivia questions before the others get here. Oh, that would be cheating. John H. is here. He says, sorry about Inga Svensson. I just saw her on Bonanza rerun a few weeks ago. Oh, yeah, she actually did a lot of work before Benson. HOA says, thanks for the shout out on my new upload, Thrash. Glad you enjoyed it. I very did. It was very funny. Dominic D is saying hey to Zuper. Gary Carpenter is saying hi to M. A lot of people. Oh, and she was 90 years old. Yes, Gary, thank you. I couldn't. We lost somebody else who was in the 90s too. Oh, you were just telling me about that. Please put it in the comments. I can't think of his name. The voice actor, probably best known for um, the Wacky Duckling. Shannon says, Emily Miller, hey girly, it's okay. Thrash already crashed once. You haven't missed anything except for the couple minutes in that first stream. Gary Cameron is buffering again. I'm so sorry, although I'm starting to think it's your phone. Emma Miller says, Sean, I went to the crashed one first. I was lost. Yeah, still not sure what exactly happened there, but I'm glad you people all came here. Oh, Gary Carpenter says, an eagle died today. Oh, that's very sad. I like eagles. They're big too. They're like 4 feet tall. Keith, he says, sounds great to me. Thank you. Pod Blast says, hi to Emily Miller. Shannon says, hi to Emily Miller as well. It took Thrash a while to restore the stream. I went to a couple of times. Yeah, me too. Cindy says, she played on Soap first as Corinne's real mother. Oh, I did not know that. Oh, that's priceless. I actually did not know that. I watched Soap sporadically. My mother didn't let me watch it. It was a little adult for me back then. So I didn't always get a chance to watch it. Danny Staten says, I went to the other stream, which is still running, LOL, and dropped a link to come here. Brilliant, brilliant. I'll have to, if it's still going when when I'm done here, I'll take it down. Dave asks, who's the lady singer who died? Oh, the lady singer was Sinead O'Connor. She was an Irish singer who I guess had a really, really tragic life. My wife's been reading me tidbits from her biography. I knew she had a tough life. I didn't know just how crazy tough it was. Let's just see. Shannon says, by the way, it was Gary Carpenter's fault. Past. Tell no one. Book says hello to Podblast. Cindy says, I'm great. How are you, Lance? Lance Javen says, Tug won't be here. It's his wife's birthday. If he ditched his wife on her birthday to come here, I'd be embarrassed for him. So, Tug, I more than understand you could be here in spirit and tell Mrs. Tug we said happy birthday. Cindy says we sneaked and watched it. Thrash, LOL. Yes, we both did. Apparently. Again, I was only like 13 when Soap was on. It was a little advanced. Pablo says Mom would not let me watch Starsky and Hutch when I was 6. Too violent. It was pretty violent. Steve says sadly she was only 56. Yeah, she was my age. It was a very sad ending, by the way. And again, everybody, please subscribe to The Strange Ending to help support Steve in his hour of need. Keithy says they're having a good shot over on the other one in there. Excited because there's no trivia. Very funny, Keith. Very funny. Gary Cameron says, not that kind of eagle, the musician. I was wondering. I must confess, I didn't know if some nature preserve lost a treasured eagle or something. You mean one of the eagles? I'm sorry. Yes, that makes way more sense than what I thought. That some again zoo or something lost an eagle. Thank you. Which one? Now that you mentioned, I did not see. It says I'm 56. Oh, I know how you feel. Gary says Sinead wasn't my cup of tea. Some people can take her or leave her, but I'm sad that she's gone. Andy Spot says your mom probably thought Huggy Bear was too overtly sexy. He did rock that outfit. Daryl Jones says he didn't die while on tour, did he? That's a good question. Terrell Eugene Bellinger says, hello, Thrash. I'm a little late to the party. No worries. You're going to find this hard to believe. I had some technical difficulties. So basically, you are right on time. And Cindy says, nothing compares to you. Her biggest hit was written by Prince. Yes, by Prince was a person. He wrote for a lot of big female singers back in the day, many of which he had brief romantic liaisons with, if you believe all the studio hype. Emily says Lance quote from Alice in Wonderland. Off with her head. I don't know. Tom Hungry Jerk is here. Says almost on break. Just listening. Tom, I'm so glad you could make it. And Sean says, welcome, Teb. You're right on time. He certainly is. Dan says, oh, Randy Messier. Meisner. I'm sorry, I'll get it eventually. From the Ingles and Jane Birkin, singer and known for the Birkin Beg. I'm sorry, someone mentioned Randy earlier, by the way, and it totally. I'm sorry, I'm still kind of getting back up to speed with the first part of the show. Thank you for reminding me, by the way. No more dude says, how's the weather out there? Thrash. The heat broke. It's a nice, comfortable 70 degrees. The humidity broke. You can actually breathe the air without having to bite it off in chunks, and there's a nice breeze. It's the first decent day we've had in about 5 weeks. WD says he's saying lead on Take It to the Limit. Thank you very much. Lance Gavin says we just got a little mad sometimes. Norman Bates. We just go a little mad sometimes. Keithy says, Sean, I want credit for being on all 4 streams. Credit given. And China says 4. Yeah, because there was 2 other attempts where apparently I went live for a minute, but nothing happened. I'm gonna have to check this out when I get off the computer. David says Prince from my state. You're from Minnesota, don't you know? Pablo says Randy Meisner, a founding member of the Eagles, has died at the age of 77. That bass guitar he played in One of These Nights was cool. Cindy D says, I love the song One of These Nights. Gary Carver says, I'd love to meet Huggy Bear. Dave says, Minneapolis, I think he was near there, perhaps one of the suburbs. I want to say Minnetonka because he mentions Minnetonka in Purple Rain, but we'll call it Minneapolis just for the purposes of discussion. Emily says, Eagles had a bunch of great songs. They certainly did. House of Alex says, how are you tonight, by the way, Thresh? Now that I'm back on the air, I'm doing fine. Danny Staten has given us a link. Thank you. And Shannon says, Gary Carpenter. Antonio Vargas lived in my town when I was in high school. Cool. Les Gibbons says, Thrash will be back tomorrow. Yes, I am going to do a live stream tomorrow, by the way. I don't know how long. I'll have all the deets tomorrow on my post. It'll probably be like an hour, maybe from 8 to 9, but I will definitely put up a reminder page for that tomorrow. Lance James says, Cindy D, it's an Eagles song. Gary Carpenter says, I love Hotel California and Take It to the Limit. Eagles had some absolutely amazing hits. They certainly did. One of These Nights. Cindy D says, I never heard that one, Lance. I can't tell you why. Pablo says, so do I to Gary Carpenter and New Kid in Town. I love New Kid in Town. Thank you. And David says, Prince didn't like Weird Al Yankovic. Prince tried to put a restraining order on him. Actually, a restraining order. I know Weird Al made many attempts to do covers of Prince's songs, but I didn't know he actually got a restraining order set against him. Indy says, how many live streams were you planning on launching tomorrow, Thrash? Hopefully just the one. Indy Oswald says the record is 4. And I don't want to break that record. Oh, that brings up another one, Heartache Tonight. That's another good one. Daryl John says the Eagles still on their farewell tour. Tom says, I just saw Faster Pussycat Kill on the big screen the other night. Wow, I've never seen any of his movies on the big screen. I imagine they're Russ Meyer. I imagine Russ Meyer films would be great on the big screen. I've only seen them on TV. Keithy says, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. David D says, Heartache Tonight was a great tune. It certainly was. John H says, Prince had no sense of humor. He really did. He was notoriously not known for his sense of humor. No more dude says, Hungry Jerk. Hey, man, congrats on being a wrench. Would you like to be a wrench? I will make you a wrench at some point. I promise. I'm afraid to do anything tonight. By the way, I've already enough problems with this. But number one, dude, I'd be happy to make you a wrench, or at least a pair of pliers. Emily Miller says, "I think Prince just took music more seriously." No, he just had no sense of humor. He was one of those frustrated geniuses types. Gary Gardner says, "I saw their farewell tour, and I lost the keychain I bought. Oh, bummer." Pablo says, "I saw The Who on their seventh farewell tour in 1989. Seven, huh? Steve says, "Careful, don't say more than the title of the Eagles song. Reciting the lyrics may get you copyright strike." I know, right? I know. Shotgun says, "Hunger Jerk, awesome. It's always fantastic to see movies like that on the big screen. LA is awesome for those opportunities." Blueberg says, "But he could play a mean basketball according to Charlie Murphy." John H. And John H. smiles at this. Pablo says, "I saw Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone last May for his farewell tour." Indie Spot says, "All Russ Meyer films should be required to be shown as double features for obvious content reasons." Someone was bound to make that pun sooner or later, or a similar pun therein, a reasonable facsimile thereof. Emma Melissa's Lion Eyes was playing in the background when an ex accused me of cheating. Were you? Naughty girl. Dan says, "What's the trivia topic tonight?" Batman, the 1966 TV show, which I actually should get to any minute, but I want to catch up with some of these comments. Number two says, "To Pod Blast, I like Kenny. How was he live?" Daryl John says, "Prince was 4 feet tall. You know, short people." Yeah, I know, really. Well, I'm kind of short too, so yes, I do know them firsthand. Gary Garber says, "Let me know ahead of time." The answer is sure. Duplex says, "Batman trivia?" Yes. Dominic D says he was basically a dwarf. Be nice, be nice. Emily says, "I could play a mean pinball." And Daryl John says Prince was Batman. No, he was the Joker in that music video, but I know the one you're talking about. Oh, Kenny was good. Thank you, Pod Blast, for letting us know. David says Pinball Wizard from Tommy was best part. I could, yeah, all right, I'll buy that. I do like that song. I'm just gonna skim down. Yeah, Gary Cameron says Prince was more like a Joker. Definitely. And HOA says used to watch '60s Batman with my granddad. Good memories. I know. I think a lot of us did. Lance Chapin says I met Adam West. I'm an expert now. Excellent. Number two says five. I'm 5'8" in boots. There's got to be a pun in there somewhere, but I can't think of it. I'm 5'8" in my dreams. Keith, he says 0 for 10 right now. Yes, but hopefully we'll get there. Joel John says hit the like button. And Teb says we're gonna do. Teb, I'm gonna do your icebreaker question first, and then the trivia. Teb says, which classic superhero TV show do you prefer so much better? The Adventures of Superman, Batman, The $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, Incredible Hulk, Wonder Woman, or The Flash 1990. I liked all of them. I'd say if I had to pick one I liked the most, it would probably have been The $6 Million Man, because I was a little kid at the time when it was on, and it just sort of like blew me away. Hulk was great too. Wonder Woman. I did like The Flash. It was short lived, but I did like it. And of course, all the classics are great. Emily Miller says, I'm only 5'7". Shana says, I'm shrinking. It's official. Down to 6 foot now in barefoot. 6 feet. I dream of being 6 feet. Danny, I'm 6'4". Don't spike the ball. Pablo says, there was a pinball and classic video game convention 4 miles away from my home today, El Weekend. Oh, that sounds fun. And I'm just going to skim down. Fembot Powered Nostalgic Pablo says, Fred Ward was a good Robin. John H. says, I'm 6 foot. If we're comparing height, Keith is 6'6", 285 pounds. I was a bouncer for 4 years in college. I was a bouncer for a while myself, actually, but a short bouncer. Those are those are the ones you got to watch out for. Those are the ones you got to watch out for. Anyway, how about we do the trivia, guys? So, one more thing. Indy Spot says, being, I'm being, I'm going to disappoint. I'm beginning to disappoint. To be a disappointment if there aren't any Malachi Throne questions tonight. Prepare to be disappointed. In any event, and Danny's giving us a link. Thank you so much for his horror stuff. Johnny says Malachi Throne was the only actor to play villains in both Batman and EWDG. Excellent, excellent. I can't place him to save my life. Somebody in the comment section, let me know because I'm racking my brains and I can't place him to save my life. But anyway, as always, I'm going to start in no particular order. Number 10. And again, these are all from the TV show. And I stole this one shamelessly from Dave, by the way. So we consider this an homage to our hero, Dave Sundstrom. Who was the first villain to appear in the 1960s Batman series? Was it A, the Joker, B, the Penguin, C, the Riddler, or D, Catwoman? Oh, he was in the Menagerie. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Got it. I shall repeat. Who was the first villain to appear in the 60s Batman TV series? A, the Joker, B, the Penguin, C, the Riddler, or D, Catwoman? I see the correct answer with some others as well. I'm going to let some more people answer. Oh, look who's here, Tracy. Tracy from Tracy's Fraction History and More says, "How you all?" Sorry, I'm late. No worries, no worries, Tracy. I'm so glad you were here. It was so nice of you to wear your shirt on your live show the other night, by the way. And again, Dan, please give us a link to Tracy's stuff. She actually has some very, very fun live chats coming out as of late. And also, Tracy, I'm actually going to repeat this question for you. Who was the first villain to appear in the 60s Batman TV series? A, Joker, B, Penguin, C, Riddler, or D, Catwoman? Yes, it's on Batman Trivia tonight. I'll give you a minute. Oh, John H. says Jill St. John played the Riddler's henchwoman who was a rare death on Batman. I know. I remember that from when I was a kid. And I remember people did die from time to time, but very seldom, helpless, tragic young women. It was a very, very sad scene. I remember that. I mean, henchmen died every now and then, but not a henchwoman. And it actually was kind of a stickler. Anyway, the correct answer isn't. Yeah, Daryl's like, what's the answer? The Riddler. C, the Riddler was the first on-screen villain. Question 9. This is one of those not questions. Who was not a guest in the famous Batman window gag? You know, when they're going up the side of the wall and some celebrity peeks his head out. Was it A, Sammy Davis Jr., B, Bill Cosby, C, Dick Cavett, bite my tongue, Dick Clark, or D, Ted Cassidy? And I shall repeat because I flubbed that one. Number 9, who was not a guest in the famous Batman window gag? Was it A, Sammy Davis Jr., B, Bill Cosby, C, Dick Clark, or D, Ted Cassidy? And, Tom says he doesn't know. David says, Fat Albert Bill Cosby. Yes, you are correct. For those of you who said B, Bill Cosby was, and a lot of you have got that one right. A few people missed it, but a lot of you got that right. Yes, Bill Cosby was never part of that gag, although he was around at the time. Question 8. What performer was not also on the Star Trek the original series? Was it A, Burgess Meredith, B, Yvonne Craig, C, Frank Gorshin, or D, Ted Cassidy? And I shall repeat. What performer was not also on Star Trek, the original series? Was it A. Burgess Meredith, B. Yvonne Craig, C. Frank Gorshin, or D. Ted Cassidy? Answers are pouring in. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. John H says, I know Batman, but I don't know Star Trek too well. You could guess. You could guess. Ooh, Daryl Johnson hedging his bets. He says C and B. And sadly, you're wrong both times. The correct answer is A, Burgess Meredith. Burgess Meredith was never on Star Trek, the original series. Yvonne Craig played a green slave girl who was locked up in an asylum, a space asylum. Frank Gorshin was in the very famous, he played Lokai in the very famous half black, half white human episode of Star Trek. And Ted Cassidy was in What Little Girls Are Made Of. He plays a big android. And I think he was actually in more. At least his voice was. I think he did some voice work for Star Trek as well. Actually, I know for a fact he did. He was the Gorn and the one where the Corbomite maneuver. I forget the name of his character, but he was in the Corbomite maneuver. But anyway, I'm losing focus, so I shall continue. Number 7. What famous tough guy did Burt Ward inadvertently challenge to a duel? Was it A, Lee Marvin, B, Bruce Lee, C, Chuck Norris, or D, Ted Cassidy? People are just going to start picking D because Ted Cassidy is in a lot of these. And I shall repeat. What famous tough guy did Burt Ward inadvertently challenge to a duel? A, Lee Marvin, B, Bruce Lee, C, Chuck Norris, or D, Ted Cassidy? Looks like just about all of you got it. So I'm going to yes, B, Bruce Lee. The story goes that after the famous fight scene between Burt Ward and Bruce Lee, some press agents were asking Robin, or Mr. Ward, who would win in an actual fight. He was showboating for the press, and he goes, well, I have been taking some martial arts courses, so I'm not saying I would win, but I bet it would be a pretty good fight. And this got back to Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee says, I know exactly how good a fight it would be, and I'll fight him right now. And the story goes that Burt Ward actually snuck out to his car. But that's just Hollywood legends. But apparently he did say things that inadvertently angered Mr. Lee. Question 6. Oh, I have to read. John H. says, since Green Hornet and Kato were billed as special guest heroes, Roger C. Carmel wasn't billed as special guest villain. Gary Garber said Bill Cosby. Are we still back to that, actually? Oh, and Pod Bless says, ever seen the Outer Limits episode with Adam West acted entitled The Invisible Enemy with the hand puppet and sand shark monster? I don't know if I've seen that one, but I'm going to. I'm going to find it. That sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, and Len says Robert and Kato fought in the episode with Colonel Gum. Oh, and he says, who wants to fight Bruce Lee? I don't. Yeah, me neither. But anyway, question 6. Which is the only line Robin actually said? And this is, of course, in his holy blah, blah, blah phase. Remember, he was always holy this Batman, holy that Batman. And this is the only one that he actually did say. The rest are made up. A, holy Fourth Amendment Batman. B, holy owned and operated Batman. C, holy free holies Batman. Or D, hole in the bucket, dear Batman. I shall repeat. Daryl Johnson's holy crap, Batman. And Gary Carpenter's guessing Burgess Meredith. Oh, come on, Gary. That's not even one of the choices. I shall repeat. Which is the only line Robin actually said in the 60s TV series? A. Wholly Fourth Amendment Batman. B. Wholly owned and operated Batman. C. Wholly Frijoles Batman. Or D. Hole in the bucket, dear Batman. And I knew someone was going to pick D. Jim, thank you for not making me a liar. Jim, welcome to the party. I hope we're having fun. And Danny Skaten says everyone about to lose subs on your tube on December 1st of this year. All accounts that had activity for 2 years will be deleted. Announcements today. Well, that just brought down the room, Dan. Thank you. No, thank you very much for that info. I will certainly look into it at Ledger. But wow. But anyway, yeah, and again, Jim, thank you for joining us, and thank you for picking D. I was praying somebody would. A lot of people picking C. No, Holy Frijoles is actually from the Pink Panther cartoon with the Inspector Clouseau. He had a sidekick who was always saying "Holy frijoles," um, but and wholly owned and operated was actually something Alf said once. But it was actually Holy Fourth Amendment. Indy got it right, and I think one or two others did too. But Indy, I'm very proud of you. I went through I found this on YouTube. It was every holy blah 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 blah. Robin said over the Batman run, and I picked out the one that seemed least unlikely to be spoken. Aren't I a sneak? Hey, how about some scores? And while we're waiting for scores, holy hole in the wall. That's a good one too, Lance. Keithy says 0 for 5. Free holies was my only closure. Denny says no activity accounts, only they're purging old on. Okay. Oh, shoot. So if you've had no activity in the last 2 years, Kaputnik. All right, that's a little more less terrifying. Shannon says, which letter has? I'm sorry. Which letter twas Fourth Amendment? Which letter? Which letter? I'm sorry. Which letter was Fourth Amendment? A. A was the correct answer. I'm sorry, Cindy, or Sean. I'm sorry to both of you. Gary Gamma says there's no one left from the Green Hornet. Wow, that's sad. Oh, Indy Spot says 5 for 5, waiting for the hammer. That happened last week. Remember? John H is 4 for 5. Joe Johnson's 4 for 5. Lance Javens 4 for 5. Cindy D is 3 for 5. Dominic D is 4 for 5. North Alabama Cryptid Mr. and Mrs. NAC is here. Says, hey, everyone. And hey to you. So glad you could make it. Glad to see you here on this channel again, by the way. You're just in time for the second half of my Batman TV trivia game. Emma Miller is 4 for 5. Gary Cameron is 4 for 5. Emma Miller says, I say Holy Mother of Pearl a lot. I don't know. Dan is 3 for 5. Sean, this is okay, 3 for 5. Oh, thank you, Dan. Cryptid, Dan has dropped a link to your channel for the people in my comment section who may have not already joined. Johnny says Van Williams was born and died the same month as Florence Henderson. I did not know that. Good trivia. Dave says, holy donut hole, Batman, you ate them all. And Dave has 4. Okay, super. I think a lot of people are saying hi to North Alabama. That was very nice. And I think we're going to pick up the game with question 5. And question 5 is, what coming-of-age film was Burt Ward unable to accept because of his playing the role of Robin? Was it A, The Summer of 42, B, The Last Summer, C, Alice's Restaurant, or D, The Graduate? I shall repeat. What coming-of-age film was Burt Ward unable to accept because of a scheduling conflict with his playing the part of Robin? Is it A, Summer 42, B, Last Summer, C, Alice's Restaurant, or D, The Graduate? And you folks are out of the park on this one. It was such a sad story too. Apparently, he thinks that actually derailed his career. Yes, it was D, The Graduate, and he thinks that if he had gotten the part in The Graduate, he would have become, well, I was going to say the next Dustin Hoffman. He would have become the Dustin Hoffman. I think he's setting the bar a little high for himself. But anyway, yes, it was a heartbreaker for him. Question 4. What other famous superhero show actor almost got the part of 1966 Batman? Was it A. Gil Gerard, B. Lyle Wagner, C. Lee Majors, or D. William Daniels? I shall repeat. What other famous superhero TV show actor almost got the part of Batman in the 1960s TV series? A. Gil Gerard, B. Lyle Wagner, C. Lee Majors, or D. William Daniels? Oh, I never knew this. Podblast says Lee Majors was supposed to star in Midnight Cowboy, but the Big Valley got in the way. The little role was written for Lee Majors. Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that. Well, I can actually see him do that too. You know the scene, by the way, where they're crossing the street and they're almost hit by a cab, and Dustin Hoffman goes, "Hey, I'm walking here. I'm walking here." You know that was entirely ad libbed. They had blocked off the street, and a cabbie got sick of waiting, so he pulled around one of the security guards and bolted and almost ran them down. And Dustin Hoffman's actually breaking character when he screams at him, and that's why Voight is like. But it works so well because Voight was the fish out of water, and Dustin Hoffman, that was the exact type of thing a New Yorker would have done. In any event, the answer to the question is, of course, B, Lyle Wagner. And that test footage, his screen tests he did, are actually available right here on YouTube. Moving on to question 3. And for those of you who think I don't open with an easy, well, actually, I didn't open with this one, but that I don't have easy ones. Okay, this one I was almost embarrassed to put this one in. What was Batman's signature dance craze? Was it A, the Bat Trot, B, the Bat Tusi, C, the Bat Tango, or D, the Bat Arena? I shall repeat. What was Batman's signature dance craze? A, the Bat Trot, B, the Bat Tusi, C, the Batango. Sounds like a Japanese horror film. Or D, the Bat Arena. And yes, you all got it. It's B, the Batusi. Question 2. Which supporting character was actually killed off in the comic prior to the series? Okay, technically this one is more about the comics than the actual TV show, but the important thing is they actually brought him back for the TV show. Was it A, Alfred, B, Commissioner Gordon, C, Chief O'Hara, or D, Aunt Harriet? I shall repeat. I will try to repeat. Which supporting character was actually killed off in the comic prior to the making of the TV series? A, Alfred, B, Commissioner Gordon, C, Chief O'Hara, or D, Aunt Harriet? Wow, answers are all over the place on this one, but I see some right ones. Oh, Cindy says, what about Bat Dance from the Prince Good song? Oh, I did like that song, but it wasn't from the original TV series. The John H says, all 5 credited cast members of Green Hornet are dead now, to answer earlier. They're very sad, very sad. I'm betting a lot of shows from the 60s are in that boat. Emily says, no, Harriet. No, it wasn't Harriet. I'll let you off the hook. A lot of people are guessing D. John H says Burt Ward is the only living Batman cast member now. Wow. Wow, yes, because Yvonne Craig's dead. Wow, that's actually very sad. Terrell Johnson's Aunt B. Wrong show. Anyway, a lot of you guys got it. Some of you didn't. but it was actually Alfred. Alfred was actually killed off in the comics just before they came up with the show. And then when they did the show, they go, no, we need it. We need Alfred. We need Alfred. And the number one question, I had to throw a Riddler question in here. According to the Riddler, what is black and white and red all over? A penguin at Miami Beach. B, I can't read my own handwriting. Sorry. B, a skunk in a red smoking jacket. C, a newspaper. Or D, a nun in a UFC cage fighting match. I shall repeat. According to the Riddler, what is black and white and red all over? A, a penguin at Miami Beach. B, a skunk in a red smoking jacket. C, a newspaper. Or D, a nun in a UFC cage fighting match. Dave says dead skunk. Okay, the answers are pouring in. Jim, I was hoping you would pick D again. That was my favorite answer. And yes, okay. Oh, Cindy D said D. Thank you, Cindy D, for picking D. Dave says P. U. And yes, the kid is dead. Very, very, very sad. And Tracy says question mark. And Johnny says MTM saying dead skunk on her 1978 variety show. Really? I did not know that. I remember the song Dead Skunk. I don't remember that. Daryl John says dead skunk in the middle of the road. That's a song, is it? It certainly is. It certainly is. Oh, anyway, I haven't actually given the answer. The answer is a newspaper. Yes, he went for the easy one. You figured the Riddler would come up with something a little more creative, but apparently the Riddler was known for actually going conventional. But anyway, okay, so we're getting some scores in here. Lance Chaffin is 9 for 10. Very proud of you. John H. says a 13-week theater said. Emily says, didn't Pepe Le Pew wear a red smoking jacket? He may have in one episode. I think I got that. I think I got that from it wasn't smoking jacket, it was bathrobe. And I think I got that from Captain Kangaroo. Gary Cameron says Julie Newmar and Lee Merriweather. Oh, Daryl Johnson is 8 for 10. Keithy says 4 out of 10. Shut up. You're picking the wrong answers again. Hooper, you're picking the wrong answers again, and I'm getting blamed. Sean Indes says 7 for 10. Last 5 were easier. Yes, I decided to not go hard for the second half, like apparently I inadvertently did last week. Ted was 8 for 10. Gary Carpenter is 9 for 10. Dave got 6 out of 10, I'm guessing. John H. says, I guess I'm 7 of 10 now. Number dude says 50% F. 5 out of 10 is not an F, not with my trivia questions. Cindy D was 7 for 10. I'm not a Batman trivia buff, LOL, but you did very well then. Emily says 8 out of 10, or maybe 7 out of 10. I'm going to give you 8. Daryl John says you can cheat, dude. Tracy's 5 for 10. What do you mean 1 for 10 but couldn't answer other questions? Oh, I'm sorry. Number one dude says Daryl Johnson. I did and I still failed. Just like back in high school. He cheated and still failed. That's it. Dominic D is 9 for 10. Indy says I got 9 of 9, but I got back from the can too late for the graduate question, but I knew it. Cess Levia. Such is life. You know what? Give it to you. If you honestly knew that one, and like I said, most people did, give it to yourself. Gary Garber says Batusi. Dan is 7 for 10. And David says, can use a Game Genie cheat device. And let's just see. Liz Chabin says, love you, ladies. Oh, that's very, very sweet. So where was we? So that's the trivia for the night. Danny says, I didn't hear one had to let the dog out. What was number 8? Oh, you didn't hear. Oh, I was going to say, you didn't hear Who Let the Dogs Out? I can sing it for you. Who Let the Dogs Out? Okay. What performer was not also on Star Trek TOS? And the options were Burgess Meredith, Yvonne Craig, Frank Gorshin, or Ted Cassidy. I'm guessing you'll know that one. Steve says, what number did the dog do, 1 or 2? And Tracy says, Lance, be careful, LOL. And Daryl Johnson says A, and Daryl Johnson is correct. And Emily says, oh, the moon is beautiful tonight. It's out before dark. Yeah, but it's only like a half moon. I like it better when it's a full moon. And Daryl Johnson is 9 for 10. And Cindy D says, till her daddy takes the T-bird away, and she'll have fun till her. Oh, I don't want to get a strike. Only 257 in here, and says late guys. 257. So glad you can make it. You missed the trivia, but you can take it in replay. Let's just see. Danny says she hadn't been out since 1 p.m. And Gary Carver says Thrasher, look again, Robin, and 2 Catwomans. Oh, that's what he brought. Oh, I see. I think he was referring to principal cast members, but and I said yeah, most of the villains will be dead, but yes, and I bet there's if you keep digging, I bet there's more. I bet there's even a few more, but again, the Catwoman, a great catch by the way, with two of the 3 Catwomans still being live. Thank you, Gary. Gary Emily says looks like a waxing 3/4 to me. You're probably right. You know more about the moon than I do. Steve says to Cindy D, Warner Chappelle. Music heard that. Let's just see. Les Jamin says, okay. Tracy, I remember now. Oh, good. Only 257 says, I was watching the Zoe 102 on Paramount Plus. It was good. Dan says, what actor was on Little House on the Prairie and Different Strokes? Huh. Dick French? That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. And let's just see. Tracy says, cannot see the moon. Too humid. Thank God the humidity broke up here. Gary Gummer says, Halle Berry made a lousy Catwoman. Ouch. Oh, Mr. Drummond was on Little House. Dennis Caton has given us a link. Thank you so much. John H. says, Barbara Rush. Nora Clavicle is still alive at the age of 96. Thank you. Lance Chavin says, it looks stormy out my window. We had some rain last night, but not too bad. Steve says, Bob, are you running the furnace tonight? No, should I be? It did drop down to it was 67 degrees, which is actually too nice. But no, I don't think we're going to be putting the heat on at this stage of the ball game. John H. says, Todd Bridges. Oh my gosh, I remember that episode. Oh my gosh, yeah, but he was a kid. I had forgotten that. Thank you. Yes, very good, John H. Daryl Johnson, she was really good with that whip. Oh my. David also says Todd Bridges. Number 1 dude says Plato. Apparently it's Todd Bridges. Sorry. 257 says Gary, the Batman 60s TV series was better. Cindy says yes, Todd Bridges was a child actor. Yes, he certainly was. John H says Todd Bridges was on Little House. Thank you. Keithy says, I think the Gooch was in both. 257 says, now my family member is watching the Kentucky Fried Movie. I was just talking about that movie earlier. I was on Terry Talks Movies. You guys must watch Terry Talks Movies. I'm sure a lot of you do. But he was talking about some hidden gems. And he's talking about Kentucky Fried Movie. I love Kentucky Fried Movie, which is why I take Sanhedrin. Number dude says, I barely saw the 1979 movie Meatballs. Pretty good. Dave says Mr. Drummer was on Maude. Yes, he played Bill's best friend. Gary says Phyllis Diller made a episode of Batman with Van Johnson. She did, didn't she? Todd Bless says yes. Todd says the N-word a lot in that Little House episode. He does. I haven't seen it years. I'll take your word for it. Tracy says Todd Bridges was on Fish. Yes, yes, he was. He tries to mug Barney's wife. Wait, let's do Barney Miller first. He tries to mug Barney's wife in an episode of Barney Miller, and Ron Glass kind of scares him straight. It's a great scene at the end where Ron Glass is taking him home. He goes, "You're not going to tell my father, are you?" He goes, "Oh, yes, I'm going to." And Todd starts crying and goes, "You ain't no brother." But then, yes, he was later on Fish as one of the 5 foster kids. Fish adopts, or at least let's crash there. I'm a little behind. So Johnny says Joan Collins, the siren, is now 90. Teb says, when my 3 sons began, the original Douglas sons were Mike, Robbie, and Chip. Mike was phased out of the cast when he got married and moved away. Yes, he started doing movies. I remember. Cassadine. Was it Tim Cassadine? Just gonna skip down here. 257 says the Groove Tube was also the funniest. It really was. Yes, Lance Todd Bridges was on Fish. Pablo says Gary Coleman was on The Jeffersons before Different Strokes. Yes, he spent the weekend for some reason. And I remember George got him all these toys. He didn't like any of them. I do remember that episode. Johnny says Tony Dow was in Kentucky Fried Movie. So was Dean Cain. We all know that segment. HOA says missed most of the trivia, but I'll play along and replay X. My bad. No worries. We'll do the honor system. 257 says mean food, hate my phone. City says Todd Bridges was adopted twice. The Shadow was on radio first. Yes, it certainly was. It was Tim Cassadine. Thank you very much. Considine. Tim Considine. I'm sorry. And Johnny says Robbie was moody when he was the middle son, acted a bit like Jan Brady. Said Mike twice. Dan says, what non-twin sister in real life acted on Little House on the Prairie? Huh. Non-twin sister, I'm not sure. Pablo says Bob Barker is going to be 100 this year, December 12th. Wow, that's crazy. Walter Bean says, LOL, you can see the shadows on the wall behind Thresh. It must be Mrs. Thresh. Some of the family members are eating dinner, which they like to do in the living room. So yeah, it's like a shadow theater, by the way. I didn't know they were going to be coming home this early, so I planned poorly. David says, what was Mr. Drummond's real name? Oh, I can't recall. Good question. Dave says you should help with the dishes. They don't let me touch the dishwasher. They're afraid I'll do it. Conrad Baines. Thank you, number 2. Conrad Baines. Yes, and a lot of you were saying that. 2000 says worst spoof movie ever was the Kung Pao. I never saw it. It's a pity. I wanted to like it, but I never saw it. 2007 says no one mentioned Teenage from Outer Space. I just did. I'm very sorry. Number 2 says I like that one too. Oh, he has jumped. Gary Gummer says, Teb, what about the girl that was on Wonder Woman? She was Beverly Garland's daughter on Sons. Tracy says Norman Lear is 101. And that movie was a terrible spoof. Yes, 257. CDD says, I don't know. She just jumped off the screen. His girlfriend was Meredith McRae from Petticoat Junction. Pablo says Ronnie something or other was on that show as somebody's wife as well, but later on. Pablo says everyone forgot all about Big Brother Mike after the first Color and CBS episode of My Three Sons. Mike was the forerunner to Big Bro Chuck on Happy Days. Ain't that the truth? John H. brings up a good point. John Aston is still living, and he played the Riddler Oh, see, we're getting a list going here. We're getting a list going here. Ted says Ernie, originally a neighbor to the Douglases, became the adopted son. Certainly did. Uh, oh, 2006 says Pawns. It's terrible. Yeah, I ended up not watching it because I heard bad things about it. Let's just see. I jumped. WCD says I have to make dinner. See you all later. Great live stream, Travis. Thanks. When I finally did get her up and going, thank you very much, Gary. I'll just see. Liz Given says, or Kung Fu Hustle. I like Kung Fu Hustle. Pablo says, yes, Cindy D. Meredith was pretty. Johnny says, Norman Lear will be 101 August 27. David says, Conrad Baines, besides different strokes and Mod, anything else he was in? Oh, I'm sure of it, but probably Love Boat. They were all in a Love Boat. Barbara Rush is 94. Podblast says, Meredith McRae sadly died from brain cancer. Oh, in 2000. Oh, I'm very sorry. Oh, and Emily was saying, have a great night, DD. I'm just going to skip down here. Dan says, Kim and Kyle Richards are the sisters on Little House on the Prairie. Oh, thank you. Very good. Very good. Thank you. And Ronnie Troop, thank you, Ronnie Troop. I couldn't think of the last name, Troop. Her father was on Emergency. Ronnie Troop played Chip's wife. Thank you. She was also on Danger Island from the Banana Splits. 257 says Infra Man movies, Pawns. I don't recall the Infra Man movies. I'm sure I saw at least one of them over the years. Inframan. Tab says Robbie's wife's name was Katie, played by Tina Cole, a singer, actress, and member of the King family. Oh, huh. Yeah, Daryl Jones says Kung Fu Wells is a fun movie, and Dan has given us another link. I just jump, but I'm going to try to keep up. Tab says to Cindy D. Man from 8 is Enough was Robbie's real life sister. And Daryl Jones says Bob has a ghost in the house, probably several. And Danny's giving us another link. Oh, Pablo says Ronnie Troop was in a great SWAT episode in 1975 where she was being stalked. I did not know that. Johnny says tra la la. Oh, only 257 says it's a Chinese superhero movie, Pawns. Oh, I know it. I'm trying to remember if I've seen it. I'm racking my brains. I think I may have seen it years ago. Okay, dude. Guys, guess what? I just got a little broom. I looked out at the bottom, and it says that my battery is dying and all the Michigots and everything going on. I didn't plug my laptop in. I'm running off the battery, and it's about to go. I think I may have minutes left. So, and we're at the 8:45 mark anyway. So I think I'm going to call it a little bit early tonight. If I miss any of your comments, I do apologize because I just want to get say all my goodbyes before before I go dead again. Anyway, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. It's a lot of fun. I want to thank you for your patience. You guys are always so patient with me and my little technical problems. It was so great having you guys here with me tonight. Again, I can't do the show without you. When I the next day when I check how the analytics on these shows, you would be amazed at the number of comments you guys contribute. You guys are really, really the reason the show works. And I want it for those of you who couldn't make it tonight, like Baked Bean couldn't make it tonight. Well, Tom was here, but only briefly. Music Girl 67, Lisa Fields, anybody I'm forgetting. Those of you who haven't been able to be with us regularly, we haven't forgot about you. And please watch us in replay. Sarita Abney, I was just talking to Sarita Abney the other day. If you guys get a chance to come by, we'd love to see you again. But anyway, until then, be good, be safe, be careful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, very, very soon. In fact, I will see you at some point tomorrow. There will be a Monday show of some kind, probably general topic. But I will have a post for that at some point tomorrow. And until then, peace.